Hi YouTube, it's Susan, and as I promised you, I promised a few of you that I would do a tutorial on how to do mini album binding. And this pattern, I finally decided what my pages will look like, and this pattern is going to be based on the SuperHappyScrapper tutorial, which I'll post it below. The page sizes will vary because I'm going to be using 12 by 12 paper because I want a larger span. So I'm going to use the same pattern, but the sizes will be different. I don't know what the total outcome size will be. I've never really paid attention to that too much. So, but I'm going to show you how I do that. Okay. And this is 12 by 12 paper. So we definitely want to score in the middle at 6 inches on a 12 by 12 piece of paper. She uses 8.5 by 11, and I'm using my Mini Martha storyboard, so I have to flip it. But you make whatever you have work, right? So she uses, her pattern is 8.5 by 11, and we're gonna just take it up a notch. And then I'm gonna flip it. And my pocket, I'm going to do at 3 inches. And this is going to leave a large page. This page is going to be 9 inches long. And I'll tell you in just a moment. And let's see. And probably about 4 inches, no, 5, about 4.5 inches wide. So we want to score a 1/2 inch on both sides. And I hope you can see this. I don't know, it's kind of high up, but this is really just a process thing. If you go to SuperHappyScrapper, the link that I'll put below, she has a really good tutorial on it. And I'm just kind of showing you how you can see a pattern online, and you may want to change it up a little bit, change up the sizes. And this is how I do that. So you have where you have your 1 inch score on both sides, and then you have your score at the 6 inch mark going down the middle, and you have your 3 inch score here at the bottom, and that's where the pockets will be. So you want to actually do a 1/2 inch on either side of, oops, that didn't work out so well there, on either side of the, oops, damn it, sorry about that. On either side of that middle line that's at 6 inches. And I'm going to flip it upside down and finish my score. Alright. So, and this is kind of large, and you could actually make your pocket bigger if you wanted to make your album smaller. So basically, which I don't know if you can see this, but you're going to have a 1/2 inch score here, all the way down, which is a really light score, so we'll just score a little bit more. Okay. A 1/2 inch score on both sides, a score at the 6 inch mark, and then a score at the 5.5 inch mark, and a score at the 6.5 inch mark. And then here we did 3 inches. Okay, and this is really similar to her pattern, so that will be the base that we will start with. Okay, and the reason for this whole video is just to simplify the binding. So really, I'm just kind of showing you how I change, and sorry if this is shaking, I have this rigged up where my iPad is above me, so it actually works pretty decently if the light is not shaking. Anyway, so I just wanted to simplify the binding for you, and this is the only way that I know how to do that. So we're taking a pre-existing pattern and we're changing it up a little bit. SuperHappyScrapper, she actually has a little bit of a gap. So normally this page would be just a little bit bigger than this side of the page, but for me to change the sizes of it, it was just simpler to go down the middle than to try to do all that math, because I am no math person whatsoever, and I'm sure you have figured that out by my previous math that I did. It wasn't right. Anyway, all right, so what we're going to do first is where you have the cut, the score at 3 inches, and then you have those 2 scores right there. We want to cut on the 6-inch score, the short side, just like that. We don't want to cut above that line. I'm going to cut it right there. And then you want to cut this at an angle like that. Cut it like an angle like that. Okay? And then you're going to come over here and you are going to cut with the 3-inch score at the bottom on the right side where you have your 1-inch score, or 1/2-inch score. You're going to cut all the way down to that 3-inch score line, and you're just going to angle it, because you're going to make a pocket there. So you're just going to angle it. Nothing special, nothing fancy. And then you're going to flip it over, and you're going to do the same thing to the next side. And like I said, her video is very good. I don't know if I'm a very good teacher. I just know how I do it, and I'm just really trying to simplify the whole binding process. Once the pages are done, then you'll see how I do it. So basically, that's what you have right there. Okay? Now we want to do our folds, and I usually fold this like this up this way, and I usually cut these little points off right there, just like this, like that. Okay, just so it looks like this. All right, so now we want to fold our score line. So fold in the middle at the 6-inch and score. And you want to go somewhat, you want to score it pretty crisp, but with some paper you have to be careful because it will rip the paper, just an FYI. But, and then we want to fold the next score. We want to fold it in the opposite direction. This may be a little cumbersome. You might have a better way of doing this. You probably could go like this, actually. Sometimes that's an easier way of doing that. There you go. We're just going to get that line crisp on both sides. All right. So there we have our middle hinge. That's going to be the inside, okay? And then from the pockets, you can do them any way you want. You can flip one this way, and you can flip one this way. However you want to do it. And I do change them on the different pages so that all the pages are not identical. So with the score in the center, I'm going to do the first one on the top. So the first page is actually going to have a pocket. So you fold your score lines on your pocket and just burnish them. Okay, and then, so I have a pocket here, my seam is in the middle, and you really can't go wrong with this. I mean, since it's the same side on both sides, it's really, you know, I don't really think you can mess it up too badly, so I wouldn't worry about it. I would not stress out. It will work its way out. If something goes wrong, you just fix it, cover it with something, right? So we're going to fold our little score lines here. All right. So that is our page. And then what we'll do is we'll take score tape and put it inside the hinge and on the back side of our flaps for our pockets. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab some scrappy tape. Okay, so my question when I first started doing scrapbooks was, There's so many different types of glue, and glue is the most confusing thing. I tell you, I didn't know if I could use ATG or if I had to have a special tape or whatever. And a lot of people don't really go into that very deeply. But when you're constructing your pages, you do want a stronger tape. And the ATG tape is not strong enough. It is only strong enough for paper. And then sometimes, even then, depending on the humidity, where your book is, sometimes that glue is not strong enough. I have seen humidity do some weird things to ATG tape, just an FYI. But I do use it for my papers. So the first thing we're going to do is our hinge is here, so the inside of our hinge, okay? I'm going to put my tape on here and just run it along the edge, but not over the edge, because you don't want any hanging off, or else you'll have sticky spots. And then just trim it here. The less you have hanging over, the better. And you want to burnish this so that it adheres well. Okay. And I think you want to do that with even scrappy tape, the white tape. You want to definitely burnish. And I learned that from my sister Scrapper. She has a wonderful tutorial, and I highly recommend it for anybody that's doing albums for the first time. Her vertical mini album, I highly recommend it. Or vertical paper bag mini album, because she teaches you a lot of the basics that you need to know when you are doing these books. And one of the things that she cannot tell you enough is burnish. You burnish everything. Because it will come up, y'all. I will tell you, paper will come up. Like I said, if the humidity if it changes and you have a little bit of humidity in your house, the paper will bubble. So burnish. And I just basically burnish until I don't see the little air bubbles underneath, okay? So we're going to flip it over because we have a pocket. We have one pocket going this way and one pocket going this way. So I'm going to go ahead and do these edges here. Okay. This is, I love my sister Scrapper. I love her vertical paper bag album. But I kind of grew out of the paper bags. I do like the paper bags still, don't get me wrong, but I really like making the pages. And this pattern, I tell you, is probably one of the best patterns that I've come across, because you can customize it. You can do different things with it. It's a very good base. Her tutorial is very good, but it's a good base. It's like a tomato sauce, right? You can make anything with tomato sauce. It's kind of the same thing. This is the tomato sauce. And as long as you keep the same basic concept, you are good to go. Okay. So, a little bit of a hanger there. Let's get that off. Okay. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the tape off the hinge. Okay. Alright. And I'm going to use my finger and push that extra tape over, because you really don't want those little sticky ends hanging off. They are a nightmare to get off once they're out there. So, and then I'm going to try to grab it from the middle and just seal it. Alright. And there is the basic page. And then we're going to go ahead and take this off. Some people have tools for this. I don't use tools. I just do it like that. I do try to keep a garbage close by, because you will have a lot of that tape. Oh, see? Push your tape ends down. You don't want it hanging off. Alright, and then burnish. Alright, I don't know if I burnished, but you'll burnish that one. Just make sure that it's adhered well. We're going to take this off. Take that off. I'll make sure my tape is down. Fold my pocket in. Alright. Alright. I'm going to fold it. Make sure it is somewhat straight, because here you have a little bit of give, you know, it's a little bit forgiving. Just want to make sure that that is pretty straight for the most part. All right, and that is it. So we have pocket, we have the inside, we have the hinge, and we have the pocket on the outside. Pocket, pocket, hinge. Now, just thought of something. Whatever you do on the inside page, you want your pocket on the inside. And there's a reason why, because you have to put a pocket over the back of it to accommodate the hinge. So you have freedom here. You can flip this one forward or you can flip it back, but this one should be on the inside. So I got lucky that I actually did that the first time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make all of these, and I kind of work in that way. I'm just going to make these first, and I'm probably going to do 6, y'all, is a lot. So this time I'm going to do 4, and you're welcome to do 6, but let me just tell you, 6 is a lot. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make my 4, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how we make the pocket for the other side to accommodate our hinge.